Phenomenal moment in all of our lives. We get to welcome a new class of medical students. Alumni are here to celebrate with us, which is always incredible. Family get to see their loved one enter the profession in which probably they've spent their entire lives talking about. And here we are. The other thing I'd like to do is acknowledge the many people who have directly or indirectly participate in your medical education. We have members of the NYT College of Osteopathic Medicine Dean's Council and Executive Team. They help me make really important decisions. Members of the NYT Administration and Advisory Board. The NYT Com department chairs and staff, and our esteemed faculty who will work tirelessly every day to help you in this journey. In addition, I would also like to especially thank our faculty and alumni who are serving as white coaters tonight. I offer gratitude to our special guests from the Arnold P. Gold Foundation who have gifted our students with special lapel pins for their white coats. Receiving your white coat is a joyous milestone of your medical education and career, and I'm excited to be able to celebrate with you today. It's now my pleasure to welcome Dr. Daniel Ferrara, Vice Chair of the New York Institute of Technology Board of Trustees.
Thank you, Dean Wadsworth. Good evening. On behalf of the New York Institute of Technology Board of Trustees, it's my distinct pleasure to welcome you, our NYIT Com class of 2027 student physicians, to this wonderful event with your family and friends, and also those, as Nicole mentioned, online. I would also like to welcome NYIT alumni, NYIT Com alumni, faculty and staff, and also fellow board members. As you are aware, many people have supported you on your journey that took you to this point. As Nicole said, this is probably something that most of you have been dreaming out for 20 years now. Don't forget all the people that supported you along the way, and you'll need continued support, and I'm sure that will be there. Today's White Coat event is special. It's a rite of passage. I guarantee you, you will remember this day forever. It's very, very important, and I'm so happy to be here to be able to spend that with you. Today, the field of medicine is changing rapidly. NYIT College of Osteopathic Medicine, I promise you, will provide you with an up-to-date, technology-driven education, one that will prepare you to become capable and compassionate physicians and valued members of my and your osteopathic medical profession. Many of you know I graduated from NICOM in 1986, and I can tell you firsthand, absolute firsthand, I received an incredible education, and I promise you will too. Since graduation, I've met and worked with physicians from dozens of medical schools, both osteopathic and allopathic, and never once, not once, did I ever feel my education was inferior to theirs. In fact, I was pretty certain it was superior to theirs. I was able to match the residency of my choice, went on to become chief resident, became an attending physician at multiple hospitals, finest hospitals around, eventually becoming director and even chairman of some very acclaimed institutions. My education allowed me to do all of that, I can promise you that. Today, I proudly serve as vice chairman of the New York Tech Board of Trustees, and I'm extremely proud to support this institution that has given me so much. Without this institution, I would not be standing here before you, nor would I have 1/10 of what I currently have in my family and social life. As you begin your academic and professional journey at NICOM, my fellow trustees and I extend our best wishes for happiness and your happiness and success. As your education continues, NYIT Com class of 2027, congratulations to each and one and every one of you. Thank you for having me. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce my friend and colleague, Dr. Hank Foley, President of the New York Institute of Technology. Hank.
So Dan, thank you very much. Thank you to all of you who are here today, and to our future doctors, congratulations. As your exceptional skills and your abilities represent the very best and the brightest here at New York Tech. Healing others is more than a mere profession. It is a noble calling and one that benefits the health and well-being of patients, their families, and all of society. New York Tech students graduate with a sense of humanity as well as technical knowledge and experience. That human touch is literally a part of your osteopathic medical education. NYIT-COM alumni are amazing people. They're primary care physicians, surgeons, entrepreneurs, researchers, healthcare executives, professors, and even more. And Dr. Ferrara, by the way, is about 4 out of 5 of those. So they represent some of the best graduates New York Tech has ever produced, an impressive group of professionals who now help diverse communities throughout the world. With the program in Jonesboro, Arkansas, the reach of NYIT-COM and our alumni is widening as we educate physicians who live and practice medicine in the Mississippi River Delta region, providing care for some of the nation's most underserved people and populations. This outstanding medical school makes me proud to be part of New York Tech. This school's faculty, staff, students, alumni, and dean are among New York Tech's finest. The spirit of this institution is founded on educating innovators and healers, people who will reinvent the future. The spirit has never wavered and it never will. I hope that you will embrace this spirit as you go through your time here at Tech, and I also hope that you'll carry that spirit with you after you leave Tech and throughout your career. So with that, I'll say good luck with the rest of your studies. I look forward to hearing great things about NYIT-COM's class of 2027, and I'll be seeing you at commencement in May 2027, and it'll be here before you know it. Thank you.
And now please welcome Dr. Jordan Keyes, Associate Professor for the Osteopathic Manipulative Medicine Department and Director of the Osteopathic Medicine Center.
Thank you. Good evening. It is my pleasure to introduce our honored alumnus of the year, Dr. John Rimmer, class of 2005. Dr. Rimmer is a dually board-certified emergency physician and internist, currently serving as the System Chief Medical Officer of CarePoint Health System, the largest healthcare system in Hudson County, New Jersey, which encompasses 3 hospitals, 900+ licensed beds, and more than 1,000 medical staff. Dr. Rimmer graduated from NYIT College of Osteopathic Medicine in 2005 and completed his internship at St. Vincent's Midtown Hospital, then transitioned to St. Barnabas Hospital in the Bronx for simultaneous residency in emergency medicine and internal medicine. That's not impressive, right? Impressive enough. During his training, he was commissioned as an officer in the United States Navy Reserves and was a national award recipient for research involving acute ophthalmologic emergencies. Following his residency, Dr. Rimmer began practice as an emergency physician and was elevated to medical director of his department in 2014, whereby he oversaw steady growth and improvement in quality and operational efficiency. His innovations around technology in the emergency department were awarded the state's Healthcare Innovation of the Year Award in 2018. And he was also a finalist for Healthcare Professional of the Year in New Jersey for 2019. In 2020, Dr. Rimmer completed a fellowship in healthcare leadership via Seton Hall University and helped craft the local and regional response to the COVID-19 pandemic. In early 2021, Dr. Rimmer was promoted Chief Medical Officer of Hoboken University Medical Center, focusing on the recovery from the pandemic, quality, and network expansion. He was very proud when the hospital recently named number 2 in New Jersey and top 20 in the country for community benefit, as ranked by Lone Institute, which was founded by a Nobel Prize winner and focuses on social responsibility, equity, and outcomes amongst hospitals. In late 2022, Dr. Rimmer was offered an opportunity to serve as System Chief Medical Officer at CarePoint Health System, where he oversees quality, operations, and growth. CarePoint Health System now touches more than 225,000 lives annually and growing, with 400 new physicians credentialed in the last 18 months. Dr. Rimmer is also excited to be a member of the NYTCOM Dean's Advisory Board, is proud to call NYTCOM his professional home, and is very pleased to welcome the incoming class of 2027. Yay! It is now my sincere honor to welcome Dr. John Rimmer. At this time, I also invite our Dean, Dr. Nicole Wadsworth, to join Dr. Rimmer at the center stage to present his personalized white coat.
Thank you, Dr. Keys. Thank you, President Foley, Vice Chairman Ferrara, Deans Wadsworth, and faculty, family, honored guests, and thank you to the class of 2027 for having me. On behalf of your future 8,000 plus fellow alumni, it's an honor to welcome you to our NYTCOM family. The waypoint of life you find yourself at today should be welcomed with pride and fulfillment, but most importantly should be met with purpose. A purpose which will define your life's work and inevitably the lives of the patients whom you will hold in your well-trained hands. So as I start, I reflect on where the white coat originated. In the 1800s, physicians used to dress like clergy to reflect the then formal and serious nature of a physician encounter. That said, seeing the doctor back then was often not a welcomed event, or even beneficial per se, and as we know, much of the reason why osteopathic medicine was founded. Yet at the dawn of the last century, around the time of Still, Osner, Flexer, antiseptic technique, when we learned to wash our hands, we moved to a brighter form of presentation to welcome modern medical science and a white coat as its symbol. Actually believed to be borrowed from the Roman toga, it was meant to represent science, debate, and sterility. And the foundation for most professional societies is candor and truth, for which candor is derived from the Latin candidus, which means white. However, many of you may remember from undergraduate physics, white is not an actual color. When all the wavelengths of the visible spectrum combined, our brain perceives the color white. So how appropriate for that to symbolize our responsibility to society, combining all the wavelengths of science, anatomy, physiology, chemistry, with those of the human element, compassion, connection, perseverance, and even loss. Given this amalgamation of colors, the white coat, while seemingly sterile and bland to our second cranial nerve, which you'll learn in a few weeks, can scientifically symbolize not only the diversity of our backgrounds and upbringings, but also the diversity of skills one must obtain to do this job very well. We are a combination of scientist and social worker, of healer and teacher, of advocate and activist. But maybe most importantly, we are communicative, empathetic, yet evidence-based problem solvers. This combination of skills may not be visible to the naked eye, but as you will learn in the coming years, it is very palpable to a trained mind, hand, and certainly to our patients. These jobs, all neatly represented in this coat, require amazing perseverance, intuition and insight, accountability, and self-discipline. It requires emotional and intellectual maturity, integrity, compassion, and trust in yourselves, in your colleagues, and in our patients. Eventually, your success as an osteopathic physician will not be gauged on how well you can memorize the Krebs cycle, although that may admittedly occur in the next year or two, but you will eventually be remembered on how well you connect with patients, manage tasks, solve complex problems, address societal inequities, pay attention to detail, risk stratify, and very importantly, communicate. Medicine beyond the science is communication to patients, to each other, to families, or even, unfortunately, to the electronic medical record. Medicine's the science of uncertainty and an art of probability. You will spend the next 7 to 10 years of your life between this school and residency training to perfecting your knowledge and technical skills, but as importantly, you will be honing your communication skills, your gestalt, your intuition, your confidence, and your ingenuity to solve problems. And this white coat will follow you along the way, absorbing the spectrum of colors as your capabilities advance. And these new abilities will be tested each and every day. For example, your adaptability. Technology is changing our profession, so be the inventor who will design the next clinical tool, not the one who will be obsoleted by it. Approachability. Do great work and be great to work with, but if you have to choose, always be great to work with. Patients and colleagues won't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And most importantly, accountability. Society entrusts us with enormous responsibility. Value work more than you value success. And remember, pressure has purpose. Use stress to strengthen your core intellectual muscle, but don't use it to compartmentalize the emotional nature of what we all inevitably witness and carry with us in this field. Speak to each other, support each other, and encourage each other. The colleagues you have neighboring you tonight will inevitably become some of your best lifelong friends, and eventually, your trusted and reliant clinical colleagues. They may help you in gross anatomy lab next month, but in a little more than 47 months from now, the person sitting next to you may help you with a difficult airway. Or you may sign out a toxic-appearing newborn to the person to your left or right, asking them to follow up the results of their cerebral spinal fluid testing from the spinal tap that you just performed on a febrile 14-day-old newborn to determine what additional antibiotics may be necessary as your shift ends in the ER and theirs begins. You will depend on them for that critical handoff, as will the baby. So learn to depend on each other and communicate for reliability, for continuity, and for redundancy. When I look back on my entry point into NYTCOM, it was a few weeks before 9/11. I actually learned about the Twin Towers falling from Howard Stern on the radio as I sat at a light on Glen Cove Road. As I turned on the radio and heard, I vividly remember looking out my window to the car next to me where a woman was crying in her hands. We both sat at a green light, almost frozen. And for those who remember the timeline of that day, yes, I was late to class, which began at 8 a.m., but more on accountability and self-discipline later. As I arrived in the lecture hall, I met a classmate who had tears in his eyes, and I asked if the class knew what was happening. They did. We looked at each other like we knew the world had just changed, and it did. You could actually smell the smoke from the Twin Towers in Nassau County that night, and I remember wondering if I could somehow get to New York City to help, and then remembering I didn't know how to take a pulse yet, let alone assist in the largest U.S. mass casualty event since Pearl Harbor. So I felt helpless but not hopeless, and certainly motivated. That moment removed any self-doubt I had about my career choice or investment I was making in myself. It later spurred me to join the Navy Reserves during residency, something the son of a man who was drafted involuntarily into Vietnam probably would have never prior considered. So all of our life experiences and resulting journeys will be different, and I suspect there's a common theme as we sit here in our collective meeting point, contemplating that crucial moment which solidified our desire to dedicate our lives to the demands of this profession and lifestyle. And maybe that's to be a part of the process of progress, wanting to contribute in more ways than only clinical decision-making. NYTCOM spurred me to want to innovate, to problem solve, and most importantly, to create healthy culture, which is admittedly needed in healthcare today. There are vast challenges. But as my staff hears me opine frequently, culture eats strategy for breakfast. Create the culture with which you want to be a part of. And you are joining a school with which will impart on you a culture of knowledge acquisition, but also one of empowerment, of inclusivity, of self-fulfillment to remove that moment of doubt many of you probably had prior to your crucial moment. And that is on the heels of the worst pandemic in 100 years. During the heat of COVID, as many of you maybe were studying for the MCAT, I imagine some of you had a sense of intrigue and desire to help, coupled with some admitted self-reflection. Do I really want to do this? Is this for me? Trust me, this is the place for you. You can do anything and go anywhere from here. So trust the tools with which you will be given in the coming months and years. That said, those tools are not robotic. This is not artificial intelligence. Lots of self-assembly is required, and this will take an enormous amount of work. But quick success builds ego, and slow success builds character. Your effort, commitment, and values will determine your habits, which will inevitably predict your performance, and the inner scorecard with which we all carry with us along the way. Follow and respect your inner scorecard. Remember, Darwin did not say the fittest or strongest survive, and as an emergency physician, I will testify to that, but rather the one who is the most adaptable to change. Healthcare is changing, and demands and expectation for quality and reimbursement are changing. Our industry is evolving quickly, and technology is encroaching on everything we do. But that can be a good thing for us and for patients. It's also a good thing you're studying in the only osteopathic medical school with the word technology in its name and on your lab coat. So challenge yourself to innovate, not renovate, to anticipate, but as importantly, to articulate the change and force that you want your career to be. In closing, I will emphasize the following. What we do is hard, but it's supposed to be. But it is incredibly rewarding. The next stage of your life will challenge you in ways you have not yet experienced. It's okay to be nervous because your patients will always be nervous. Be perceptive because your patients are also very perceptive. Be an active listener because your patients hear everything. Be authentic, be compassionate, and enjoy the journey, all of its ups and downs, because at the end of the day, we are all human beings, and never ever give up, because this is what you were meant to do. Thank you.
We will now commence with the coating ceremony for the class of 2027. Dr. Rimmer will begin the coating process, followed by Vice Chair Dr. Daniel Ferrara, and then our special NYIT Comm faculty and alumni guests who will coat the remaining students. We ask you to please remain seated at all times. NYIT College of Osteopathic Medicine has arranged for professional photographers to take pictures of each and every student. And now please welcome Dr. Daniel Ferrara, class of I beg your pardon. Dr. Rimmer first, Dr. Rimmer, excuse me. Giovanna Pruscia. Artan Berisha. Adrian Berisha. Max Narduzzi. Ben Gallinson. Anaf Boyan. Liana Hitz. Thank you, Dr. Rimmer. And now please welcome Dr. Daniel Ferrara, class of 1986, to continue the coating of our students. Justin Edward. Unet Piacharu. Abdul Wahid. Suruchi Verma. Justin Wiener. Arjun Kapoor. Nicholas Matkuski. Thank you, Dr. Ferreira. And now Catherine Istefanos is being coated by her sister, Dr. Maria Istefanos, class of 2021. And now Dr. Alan Roth, class of 1986, will be coating his son, Nathaniel Roth. Now Dr. Lawrence Zhu, class of 2022, coating his sister, Angela Zhu. And now Grace Robinson is being coated by their father, Timothy Robinson, class of 1985. Jillian Luzara is being coated by their father, John Luzara, class of 1994. Now, Abdullah Ansari is being coated by their family member, Dr. Atif Tatari, class of 2012. Aidan Buzard is being coated by his family member, Dr. Peter O'Keefe, class of 2000. Now Frank DiCaro is being coated by their mother, Madeline Pugliese, class of 1992. Now please welcome our next coder, Dr. Nancy Bono, class of 1992, Associate Professor and Chair, Family Medicine. Logan Bivona. Christina Burns. Brandon Ryan. Kevin Kemmelleiber Leiben. Kemmelmacher Leiben. Ariba Islam. Roxanne Gadami. Jake Sicone. Kasim Hussein. And now our next coder is Dr. Jordan Keys, class of 2010, Associate Professor and Director of Osteopathic Medicine Center. Omer Hassan. Ani Rakubian. Ariel Shalanov. Xiaoyao Joyce Chu. Kelsey Liu. Nikhil Bhutani. Haysam Amin. Chrissy Chow. And now please welcome our next coder, Dr. Donna Marie McMahon, class of 1987, Associate Dean, Student Affairs, and Associate Professor. Coding, Anna Mienko. Avuri Rembert. Michelle Raja. Angelina Prince. Rini Sutanto, excuse me. Grace Hirsping. Christina Yan. Athena Baronos. And now please welcome our next coder, Dr. Thomas Chan, class of 1999, Associate Professor and Chair, Clinical Specialties. Coating, Vanessa Pham. Christina Yakub. Alessia Vata. Emma Kalki. Jennifer Ewan. Brian Wang. Uzair Chowdhury. Pranav Krish. Dr. Christine Huchak, Associate Professor of Clinical Specialties, will now coat. Stephen Garamy. Christopher Lau. Anund Kunamuru. Kush Patel. David Tan. Talha Wasim. Austin Lai. Prudyu Mana Simha. And now Dr. Lillian Niwagaba, Assistant Professor and Director, Center of Global Health, will coat. Gina Nugib. Layla Nasser. Kevin Hum. Michelle Zhang. Jonathan Zhang. Shiny Chen. Myra Ukbar. And now Dr. Raisha Crawford, class of 2014, will coach Sejal Suksaina. Duvanshi Mehta. Mariam Hamid. Betsy Phillip. Alvin Verghese. Christopher Tong. Ikra Ishwat. And now Dr. Richard Morgan, class of 1998, DPRI Coordinator, Department of Family Medicine, will coach Liba Sandhu. Sukaina Minul. Alina Qureshi. Sophia Kapoglis. Isa Chowdhury. Lauren Nina Peralta. Jilamika Punsachai. And now please welcome Dr. Maria Pino, Associate Professor of Clinical Specialties, who will coach Brittany Zhu. Alana DiMartino. Connor McDowell. Natalia Naroka. Anna Weissenberg. Grace Marin. Kate Gilpin. And now please welcome Dr. Matthew Heller, class of 2011, Associate Professor, Family, Sports, and which side? Medicine. Attending physician, Center for Sports Medicine, who will be coding Raymond Wong. Willard Leip. Rohan Sundaran. Samuel Pavlovsky. Sunjay Jacob. Kyle Dixon. Tanzil Sultan. Milan? Is it Milan? And now Dr. Milan Toma, Assistant Professor, OMM. Coding, Yohei Zhang. Demarcus Nassef. Daniel Nassef. Joseph Tufilos. David Remyes. Amira Chowdhury. Sarah Raymond Noor. And now please welcome Dr. Sherman Dunn, class of 1984, coding Hannah Amer. Rumana Rahman. Eric Rizzo. Joshua Reagan. Michael Viola. Kriti Mekala. Sahar Al-Saidi. And now please welcome Dr. Lynn Mark, class of 1987, Assistant Professor, Family Medicine, Coding, Matthew Cerrone. Olawale Afolabi. Stephen Barsky. Risheka Thayovali. Maxine Louie. Nancy Mahfouz. And now please welcome Dr. Cindy Hoffman, class of 1985, Coding, Nithya Thomas. Tuzneem Raka. Benjamin Scaria. Ashish Singh. Ryota Nishishiba. Leah Harrigan. Suzu. Nadia Guman. And now Dr. Akinobu Watanabe, Associate Professor Anatomy, Coding, Maya Kohli. Aaron Uter. Rachel Newman. George Serobian. Gabriela Fialkos. Ladan Kamali Sarvastani. William Chung. And now please welcome Dr. Jonathan Geisler, Chair and Associate Professor of Anatomy, Coding, Niba Khan. Emma Revelisi. Michelle O. Eric Lee. Sanjita Ira. Sanu Mutin. Isra Ahmed. And now Dr. Brian Beatty, Associate Professor Anatomy, Coding, Puneet Dholiwal. Juliana Judith Niazov. Stephanie Kodzandi. Priya Dusharini Bharacharyo. Grace Forbes. Natalie Zhu. Samuel Caldas. Now please welcome Dr. Leslie Goldstein, Associate Professor, Clinical Specialties, Coding, Peter Zimmerman. Ariella Bordeaux. Nicole Zuber. Abigail Wolf. Carolyn Greenwald. Anthony Melee. Alessandro Mercado. And now please welcome Dr. Andrea Collidner, Assistant Professor, Family Medicine, Class of 1990. Coding, Neil Kungumpilil. Arshul Singh. Ukash Gundotra. Amy Chen. Michael Belkin. Elizabeth Kuo. Eva Rossini. And now please welcome Dr. Mark Chu, class of 1993, coating Salvatore Esposito. Richard Crotty. Darren Yatil. Mohammed Salebi. Kenan Azizi. Jake Borenkoff. Ryan Shillingsford. And now please welcome Dr. Nico Salunias, Professor of Anatomy, coating Julian Bushin. Nicholas Vallone. Brian Koflanovich. Neil Schwartzman. Isabella Church. Morgan Stubley. Nancy Hilton. And now please welcome Dr. Matthew Mean, class of 1990, coating Rachel Blaustein. Ariana Faletta. Natalie Pederosi. Shauna Singh. Anam Javed. Yasmin Shadu. Adil Ansari. And now please welcome Dr. Liat Jarkun, class of 1987, Associate Professor and Director of the Center for Behavioral Health, Coating, Sarah Alazam. Maria Campo. Grant Ruback. Zarnav Naqvi. Prince Vathapalil. Previn Vathapalil. Josna Joseph. And now please welcome Dr. William Blasey, class of 2005, Associate Dean and Professor Academic Affairs, Coating Yush Patel. Pritpal Singh. Zishan Ahmud. Aaron George. Sky Lee. Alexandra Abrams. Ja Cower. And now please welcome Dr. Marjorie Doog, class of 2001, Coating, Michael Tuminello. Jacqueline Lynn. Sarah Gerard. Abigail Osmansky. Xing Fan. Michael Deutsch. Jasmeet Singh. And now Dr. Douglas Taranov, class of '88, coating Haidir Al-Amiri. Marco Youssef. Talha Rana. Skylar Lucas. Lacoste. Portia Maidment. Cassandra Gerace. And now please welcome Dr. Michael Gindi, Associate Professor, Clinical Specialties, coating Leah Tierney. Vivian Ban. Daniel Stuff. Ahmed Abdallah. Marco Zekri. Sunjana Guruswamy. Jamie Hilkebeck. Robert Grasso. And now please welcome Dr. Paula Rio, class of 2003, Associate Professor and Director, Simulation Center, coating Nicholas Kralik IV. Michael Mello. Christian Calistro. Joseph Murdy. Chris Benito Ario Kiaraj. Boan Mai. Anona Ahmed. And now please welcome Dr. Olaf Buchma, class of 1988, coating Suhina Srivastav. Thomas Chikolela. Mary Fawn. Chris Matthew. Nayan Palathu. Mohit Shaw. Brian Dushore. And now please welcome Dr. Joyce Giron Golson, class of 2006, coating Akash Soni. Sean Matthew. Koi Che. Charles Pillis. Asanul Hook. Aaron Zira. Christian Judah Aspiras. And now please welcome Dr. Nancy Bono, class of 1992, Associate Professor and Chair, Family Medicine, coating Kenneth Tai. Andrew Tsai. Jonathan Shaden. Zahava Weiss. Michael Akavon. Aaron Yunatinov. Lori Arazi. And now Dr. Jordan Keys, class of 2010, Associate Professor and Director of the Osteopathic Medicine Center, coating Zipporah Levitt. John Christopher Magnato. Brian Bagelman. Nicholas Dushai. Ian Nevers. Layla Dalco. Lindsay Moscow. Grace Cole. Shazeb Man. Andrew Abdel Malak. And now please welcome Donna Marie McNahan, class of 1987, Associate Dean, Student Affairs and Associate Professor, Coating Irene Nguyen. Skylar Chow. Surbi Fatnani. Adi Damola Adedeji. Anthony Patalelo. Nivetha Shunmugaraja. Jocelyn Palos. Ulia Gladstein. And now please welcome Dr. Bernadette Riley, class of 2005, Associate Professor and Director, Ehlers Danlos Center, Coating, Vanessa Fuzzini. Kristen Coletti. Sophie Chris. Alexander Muliev. David Sezanayev. Marin Davis. Saraf Farouk. Zainab Sami. Now Dr. Chamas Chan, class of 1999, Associate Professor and Chair, Clinical Specialties, will coat Unjuna Ramesh. Christine Kurian. Kripa Kurian. Catherine Shin. Mohammed Mufti. Thomas Graham. Alexander Mastrogiannis. Noah Honhut. And now Dr. Christine Hutak, Associate Professor, Clinical Specialties. Will Coat. Mustafa Ahmed. Dennis Ailenyakol. Georgi Savov. Alex Staub. Juliet Insinga. Alexa Connor. Cassandra Sturm. Sergo Damashivli. And now please welcome Dr. Richard Morgan, class of 1998, DPR1 coordinator, Department of Family Medicine, coating Ben Caruso. Kelsey Baxter. Gia Criccio. Ali Ahmed. Hadi Kelani. Imad Aziz. Singh Julie. Mark Dakwa. And now please welcome Dr. Maria Pino, Associate Professor, Clinical Specialties, coating Elizabeth Zhao. Ashley Choi. Deep Hotel. Alexis Kim. Samantha Jurong. Aisha Sidakwa. Ghazi Hussein. Neil Shaw. And now please welcome Dr. Matthew Heller, class of 2011, Associate Professor, Family and Sports Medicine. Coating, Marina Fratto. John Panisi. Ian Bezderchek. Jared Zubin. Eileen Cheng. Sally Lien. Alan Mai. Jacob Foman. Andrew Murphy. Everybody, we will momentarily pause until all students have returned to their seats. Are we good? Sure. Once again, please welcome Dr. Wadsworth.
We're almost there. The White Coat ceremony is a notable milestone that signifies the beginning of a new chapter for medical students as they embark on a journey towards their future profession as a healthcare provider dedicated to serving individuals of all backgrounds and circumstances. NYTCOM is committed to fostering a community and a medical education environment that values diversity, equity, and inclusion. Our school actively supports initiatives that celebrate inclusive ideals. The NYTCOM Student Government Association DEI Committee on both the New York and Arkansas campus consists of passionate student leaders who have worked together to revise the student osteopathic oath that the class of 2027 will take today. This group of student leaders worked collectively to modify an oath to incorporate inclusive language and emphasize an unwavering commitment to honor diversity and provide equitable health care. In today's social climate, it is imperative that students understand the relationship between healthcare disparity and racial injustice. The revised student oath acknowledges this context, and I'm proud to have our future student physicians recite this powerful statement. I now invite Dr. Nancy Bono, Associate Professor and Chair of the Department of Family Medicine, to administer the student oath of commitment to the class.
So it's only me and the food that's standing in the way. Okay, so guys, we're going to do this. Congratulations, class of 2027. I am pleased to administer the student oath of commitment to you. Please stand and turn to the last page of the White Coat ceremony program. At this time, I would like to invite the physicians in our audience to participate in the recitation of the oath. So you guys are going to repeat after me. I do hereby affirm my loyalty to the profession I'm about to enter. I will always be mindful of the honor and the great privilege bestowed upon me as a physician. And understand the responsibility of my role. I vow to be faithfully preserve the health and quality of life of my patients. Upholding professionalism, confidentiality, and the respect for patient autonomy and involvement in their own care. I vow to perform my professional duties with fidelity and the best interests of my patients in mind. I promise to care for patients using appropriate clinical judgment that will uphold the morality and do no harm. Keeping in mind the body's ability to heal. I will work to improve the general welfare of the community and to sustain laws and institutions that do not perpetuate injustice or harm. With this oath, I will seek to live my life committed to cultural humility and continued self-reflection. As a physician, I will utilize my position to ensure every individual seeking medical care is treated equitably. Regardless of sexual orientation, race, religion, disability, nationality, age, or other personal qualifier. I will only engage in those practices that will uphold my duty. To serve all of humanity in order to honor the highest goals of the profession. I will respect my teachers and colleagues of medicine. And strive for the best interests of the students who will come after me. I value a unified healthcare team and promise to treat everyone involved in patient care and management with the utmost dignity and respect. I vow to practice the art of healing and further the principles of osteopathic medicine, which were first introduced by Andrew Taylor Still. Congratulations, student physicians.
Once again, please welcome Dr. Nicole Wadsworth.
You guys look fabulous. Thank you, Dr. Bono. At this time, I would like to offer sincere thanks to all of the family, friends, and NYIT COM community members present tonight who joined the class of 2027 to make this an extra special evening. I now invite you to enjoy our special light fair reception hour. I hope you enjoy the remainder of your evening, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your attendance at the class of 2027 NICOM White Coat ceremony. During the remainder of your evening at Crest Hollow Country Club, if you'd like to take special photographs, we invite you to visit our special NYITCOM logo photo area, set up on the first floor opposite the entrance to the pool area. You're also welcome to take photos throughout the beautiful venue areas. Now, to facilitate a smooth transition, we request that students and guests promptly exit this room and proceed immediately to your assigned dining rooms to meet each other. Our light fare reception hour will conclude in 1 hour. Thank you again for attending the class of 2027 NYITCOM White Coat ceremony.